that I think in order to really learn to use Excel fully and properly, it is best to start with a blank workbook. So I'm just going to double click on that to select a blank workbook and open it up. The first thing we're going to do is learn about the layout that we have in Excel 2016. There are certain terms that you are going to need to know. First of all, across the top, we have some tabs, okay? We have the Home tab, the Insert tab, Page Layout, and more as you can see. Each of those tabs is pretty important. And when you click on a particular tab, it opens up a ribbon, okay? This is the ribbon for the Home tab. If I click on the Page Layout tab, I get the Page Layout ribbon. Now each ribbon is divided up into groups. So you can see I have a theme groups. I have a page setup group, scale to fit group, and those all are on Page Layout ribbon. I get to that ribbon by clicking on the Page Layout tab. So those are some important terms that you will need to know. Tab ribbon groups. You'll notice in the corner of some of those groups, there is what I would like to call a launch button, okay? The scale to fit group has a little launch button in the corner. The sheet option group has a launch button in the corner. The arrange group doesn't seem to have one now. What are those launch buttons? Basically, you can click on those launch buttons to give you even more options. So what Microsoft has done here is they have tried to fit all of the page layout option on this ribbon, but of course there is limited amount of geography. There is a limited amount of space that they have to work with, and so sometimes they can fit everything in that little group. Sometimes they can't, and if they can't, there is a launch button that you can click on to get even more. So that's why some have a launch button, some don't. Okay, I think it is important to start with that terminology because I'm going to be using it throughout this tutorial. Alright, a couple of others layouts, terms that you're going to need to know in the spreadsheet itself. That is the spreadsheet, and spreadsheets are made up of columns and rows. Okay, so you can see we have A column, B column, C column, etc. And if I browse to the right, okay, you can see that there is even more than that. And if I needed it, I will just keep going to right, adding more and more columns. Once it goes to Z, it goes to AA column, and lots of columns in this spreadsheet. What about rows? I have row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. Okay, so spreadsheets are made up of columns and row. Now, the intersection of a column and row